look, I wanted to close on learning a little bit more about your spiritual journey. You don't hear a lot of philosophers that end up, becoming spiritual. I don't think either one of us are spring chickens, and I'm finding in my later years, I'm much more open minded to the concepts of religion than I was when I was 12 years old and my mom dragged me to Sunday school. I even hold grace sometimes at the table, and my kids are looking at me like, "Who is this guy?" I'm just kind of curious if you could tell us about your journey, and you've been public about it. And I've also noticed there's a real emergence of that in America, from
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson to Donald Trump of all people, who would probably tell you he was the last guy that was religious. Maybe being shot at helps, but I don't think it's just that either. And there seems to be a real resurgence of that, maybe even globally.
I think you're right. When I was in the process of conversion, I was noticing this already on X, that already there were a number of people, not just high profile people, but people who were announcing that they were turning to Christ. Um, so um, I was an agnostic for 3.5 decades, basically, from about the age of 14 or 15 and until well, 2020. Um, and uh, I I've always regarded myself as first and foremost a philosopher. All three of my degrees are in philosophy. And very early on in my life, I made it my life's goal to seek the truth, essentially. Um, and I thought there was nothing more important that people waste their lives away and destroy their lives um, because they believe false things, ultimately. Um, and for that reason, I thought it's extremely important to make sure that we know what we believe, why we believe it, and that our reasons for our beliefs are correct. But as a result, I became a skeptic, methodological skeptic. In other words, as a point of methodology, I simply was agnostic about everything, and that, of course, included God. I thought that the arguments for the existence of God were not very good. Um, I still think that the arguments for the existence of God individually are not very good, but taken together, actually, they are remarkably good, which perhaps I can explain. Um, but
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, "Okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game." By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
let's just to make a very long story short, and people can read this on my blog on larrysanger.org, how a skeptical philosopher becomes a Christian. I think that's what it's called. It's about 45 pages, so long form, short book, um, but it's free. And I uh, I got married, and I noticed that I would be willing to die for this woman. And I had a couple of boys, and I noticed that I'd be willing to die for them. Now, when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I fancied myself something of a follower of Ayn Rand. Not too much. I didn't. I was a skeptic after all, so I didn't really go in for everything that she said. But it was interesting because I did tend to think that ethical egoism was correct. Ethical egoism is the view that if you want to understand why we should do what we should, then ultimately the only explanation is in terms of our own rational self-interest, right? Um, and it seemed to me it was not in my rational self-interest to sacrifice myself for my boys. I will have no interests if I'm dead, right? Um, and yet it's the right thing to do. Well, that means then that I'm acting in their interest. They actually have a value independent of me. It's very important. Um, and so because Ayn Rand is as influential as she is, a lot of people, I think, a lot of libertarian types became well, unbelievers, whether agnostic or atheist, um, due to her influence. But here I was like rebelling against Ayn Rand's influence there. I said, well, what else was she wrong about? Um, Similarly, I thought I had no concept of God at all. Like what was the idea that of a creator who, with a thought, brings something into existence from nothing? I have no concept of such a mind because my mind can't do that. All my mind can do is grab something and pick it up, and that's what my mind does. It sends a signal to my hand, and but that's not creating something out of nothing. So I have no concept of what God is in his most essential activity of creation. And then we started thinking about the whole idea of virtual reality, of ring world type scenarios where technology after the singularity has developed for 1 billion years or something like that. What really would be possible with mental prosthetics, brain prosthetics then? With a thought, perhaps you could make a planet pop into existence. And then I'd said, well, if I can conceive of that, am I not conceiving of God? So basically, one by one, the various reasons to disbelieve fell by the wayside.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you.